The biggest key to offense in general, no matter the year of Madden, is knowing your pre-snap tells so you can set up your route combinations. In my offense, the single back bunch XNasty, which you can get on Gridiron game plans with some input from Bobby V, is arguably the best pre-snap tell offense in all of Madden, especially given the meta. Now in today's video, I'm going to let you guys in on a lot of secrets about this formation that can tell you immediately not only if your opponent is in man or zone, but what type of man coverage they are in if they're in man. And we all know everybody's running man coverage this year. Let's get into it. What is up, guys? Zane for the Zane Madden YouTube channel. Today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to read man coverage in Madden 23. Now, there's a lot of offensive formations that aren't going to give you the sauce when your opponent is in man coverage. You may be able to tell simple things such as zero blitz versus two man under versus cover one based off of the safety, but I'm going to be able to tell you immediately what your opponent is in when they break the huddle on defense. Especially important is knowing whether or not they're in a cover one versus a cover zero. And obviously with that meta, you know whether or not you're getting pressured, which allows you to know what type of protection. You guys understand how this is going. You get a little bit of information. It goes a long way into helping you in the pre-snap game. And I don't think enough channels talk about how important the pre-snap game is. You don't really see a lot of people talking about pre-snap tells. So let's go ahead and get into this here. I'm going to call the single back bunch XNasty. Doesn't matter what play. And I'm going to show you guys what this looks like when we break the huddle. We're also going to compare that to what it looks like in gun bunch to help you guys understand why the XNasty is so appealing to me as an offensive player. So let's start off with Overstorm Brave or any type of zero blitz that you might find. Now, the first thing that stands out when you take a look at a cover zero play is the depth of the safeties. If they break the huddle, there's going to be that split second when you see the huddle break where these safeties are going to be rolled up at 10 yards. Now, if your opponent immediately says, let's go ahead and press and base align, they're going to back up, right? So you need to be able to key in right away on the safeties as soon as they break the huddle. But specific to the XNasty is the leverage of the outside corners. In this case, it's a nickel alignment. If you take a look, every single one of these guys is in a pretty substandard leverage on these guys pre-snap. And if we press, it's even worse. All three of those guys are going to be unbumpable. So first thing that stands out to you guys is that it's really hard to get a jam on the XNasty out of a cover zero. And a lot of players like to play press when they're in cover zero because they want to impede the release and get pressure on you while you're waiting for a receiver to get into their pattern. This is a huge reason that I really like the XNasty against the zero blitz meta, as it's so common. Now we're going to go ahead and compare this to a standard bunch offense against cover zero. And when you guys are coming out in the huddle against this, you're going to see that, again, your alignment is a little bit better. You've got this guy kind of head up on the point as opposed to in the outside shade in the XNasty. Still outside leverage here on this. But if we roll up and press, you see that the corner actually does walk down head up on the wide receiver. So in theory, if your opponent is fairly decent at disguising, they might move their safeties back and then kind of roll up in a press, and you might see something like this and think, oh, two man under. But there's less tells, although the safety depth is still consistent in a regular bunch offense. There's just more to the XNasty on top of the fact that when they actually do press you, they are going to get a jam in a regular bunch. That's not the case in XNasty. So check one in the win column for XNasty over regular bunch as far as alignment goes against cover zero meta. The next thing that we're going to look at is XNasty against the cover one defense. Now, the first thing that stands out when you break the huddle against a cover one is the single high safety. That's usually a dead giveaway that it is either a cover one man or a cover three style defense. Now, the difference between a cover one and a cover three is you're going to see here that typically you have a slot defender on both sides in a cover three, whereas in a cover one, it's basically a stack alignment. Everybody's head up. And that brings me to my next point. Clear tells in the XNasty that this is cover one and probably not a blitz unless they're going to get really adjusty and stack linebackers and move people around to guarantee pressure. They're going to have to set something up to bring pressure. So when I see this, I immediately think, okay, probably a four-man rush. Maybe they're going to drop some zones on the field, but I'm probably going to be able to drop back and pass and not be pressured unless they're doing something beyond what I see right here, stacking linebackers, etc., to guarantee their pressure. Also keep in mind that in press coverage here, this alignment doesn't scare us. Even though they can get a jam on our receivers, there's a lot in this offense that allows us to get off of press and make other guys shift in their alignment to give other receivers free releases. So I'm going to leave that there. If you guys want more, go over to Gridiron Game Plans. Now what we're going to do is audible into a bunch look, a regular gun bunch look, and you can kind of take a look at how this will align against the standard bunch or bunch offset. So when we audible into this, you can kind of see that, again, still single high, stacked up over the receivers. Pretty much the same look here, but unlike the cover zero, we have a clear tell in the XNasty when they roll up and press because the guy's in an outside shade. So again, you see them roll up and press. It looks like press, but again, the extra safety down in the box kind of gives away the cover zero versus the cover one. So pretty easy to understand when you're taking a look at this. And that brings us to cover two man under, probably the least popular, at least this year, of the man coverage based plays, but you will still see it every now and then. When you take a look at this defense in the XNasty, especially when players play press, because a lot of times in two man under, they want to play that trail technique. You're going to see that basically everybody on this play, first and foremost, you don't have the safety that was lined up over the tight end in a cover one defense. You're going to get that head up alignment by the defensive backs in a two man under. Again, much like the cover one, when they line up smack over the receivers, that doesn't concern us. We have ways to get them to slide out, to give up leverage, all kinds of things in our game plan. So not something that really concerns us. The difference here is that if you guys are trying to read cover zero versus two man under, because both are two high defenses, the safeties play at about 14 yards off the ball when you're talking about two man under. If you're comparing that to a cover zero blitz, for instance, in pressing, notice that they walk up to 10. And again, we have that outside leverage by the press corner in the cover zero. So again, all three receivers unbumpable in this. And if we were to compare that to, say, a regular bunch offense, if I were to audible into gun bunch, you're going to see that the press alignment of the cover zero should line up directly over the top of those wide receivers. So in a regular bunch, you're going to get jammed. In the XNasty, you're not. So again, very, very important to talk about how you guys can tell with the XNasty exactly what type of man coverage that they are in. Now, as it pertains to how the coverages play, we've talked about this here before on the channel. Think about all the coverages and what the man coverage would do based off of where their help is. When you talk about a cover one, where's the help? It's in the deep middle. So what is the leverage going to be? Typically, when the ball is snapped, they're going to play outside shade because they want to filter your route into the 3-rec hook in the middle of the field in a cover one, or the deep middle third safety in a cover one. In a two-man under, they're going to play low and inside because you've got sideline help and you've got safety over the top help. So what's the most likely area that you don't want to get beat in a two-man under? Over the middle on a slant or some short in-breaking route in general, hence the trail technique in two-man under. And then if you compare that to a cover zero, there's no help at all on the field. You're on an island with your guy. The only help, if there really is any help to be considered, is the sideline. So they're going to play an inside shade and force everything out to the sideline and force the quarterback to make an accurate read outside. So that's why a lot of outside breaking routes do a good job against cover zero. So now you guys know immediately what your opponent is in when you guys call the XNasty. I just gave away the leverage tendencies for these coverages as well. You guys should be in a really good place to move the football against man coverage, even though man coverage is good this year. Now, if you guys need more help, I've got freestyling seminars in my XNasty game plan. Man coverage is really, really, really tough to run against the XNasty, more so than most offenses in Madden. And I would definitely like you guys to head over to Gridiron and check it out. We have 4 game plans on the website, 2 on offense, 2 on defense. I've got belt winner John Beast West Coast Bunch coming next week here on the site. Really looking forward to that. And you guys can also take advantage of the vault in our lab sessions, just $9.95 a month. Hopefully you guys will go over there and check it out in our Discord as well. Otherwise, we'll see you guys right back here on Monday with our next video upload. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.